1. Text Summary. The recurring theme of Sir Ken Robinson's book was that students benefit from a more creative approach to education as opposed to focusing on the standardized testing that is most popular among legislators and most upper administration.
Sir Robinson is extremely persuasive in his critique of the current standardized system of education. He points out the glaring irony in keeping the industrialized system. The irony is that the more regimented and systematic the approach to education becomes, the more the performance on standardized assessments have declined. Competition among students and among instructors has done little more than stifle creativity and motivation.
Sir Ken Robinson continually restates that students are individuals and their education should be treated as such too. Their strengths and interests should be recognized. Robinson suggests that students should spend 2 to 3 hours a day on the one thing that allows them to show their strength. The Boston Arts Academy, a public school, uses an unconventional technique to keep students inspired even amid high-stakes testing. Their students spend half their day in the arts and half in academics. This encourages the creativity and interdisciplinary thinking in which many careers demand.
Although this would require more work and preparation for teachers, we believe it would provide less opportunities for burnout within the teaching profession. Create activities and activities with technology give both students and teachers a break from the constant monotony of worksheets and standard teaching methods that come with scripted programs. This also allows students to explore more varieties in the ways they learn. Students can find and use their strengths and work on their weaknesses and try to improve those areas. These strengths and improvements can enhance the learning of themselves and their classmates. This can help teachers utilize many different types of technology, but especially the flipped classroom, more as students become familiar with different technology and can use it efficiently.
Part 2. Critical Review.
The basic purposes of education are economic, cultural, social, and personal. 8 competencies should be emphasized. They are curiosity, creativity, criticism, communication, collaboration, compassion, composure, and citizenship. Great teachers foster inspiration, confidence, and creativity in their youth. Students who leave school feeling confident in these 8 areas will be well equipped to engage in the economic, cultural, social, and personal challenges that they will inevitably face in their lives.
Robinson makes the statement that personalization has not made its way into education and it is desperately needed. He says that we need to recognize that intelligence is diverse. We need to enable students to pursue their interests and strengths. A schedule should be adapted to the different rates that students learn and assess students in ways that will support their personal progress.
The standards movement is rooted in competition between students, teachers, school districts, and even between countries. He argues that this type of system that pins people against one another misunderstands the dynamics that drive achievement. Education should be a partnership and collaboration between schools and teachers, not test scores from high-stakes testing where there are students who have done everything they need to do and still do not get through the exam, and in turn comes back to reflect the teacher's instruction.
Robinson is successful in defending his claims in his book. He uniquely expands on the ideas presented in his TED Ed talk, Do Schools Kill Creativity?, that has sparked multiple discussions all over the world and has been viewed by over 43 million people. The book is in fact filled with evidence from observations, case studies, innovative research, and professional recommendations. All of these things point towards transformation in schools.
The article, The Problem with Pencils, Using Computers and Creativity to Customize Instruction by Beth Hawkins, gives an excellent example to support Ken Robinson's views that schools should be more individualized rather than standardized. Beth Hawkins walks us through the educational experiences, both good and bad, with her son who has some medical issues. Corey excelled in math, however, he did not do well using a pencil. When his mother asked if he could use an alternative method of being assessed, such as an iPad or a Chromebook, the teacher said no. After further probing and pondering why computers cannot be used to differentiate or enrich, she realized that the problem wasn't her son or the pencil. It was there as a belief that schools must happen in a certain way. It wasn't until Corey enrolled in a charter school that he received the individualized education and his passion ignited.
In their book Inevitable, Mass Customized Learning, Charles Swan and Beatrice McGarvey certainly reiterate Mr. Ken Robinson's critique of our current educational system. The current scholastic environments are remnants of an industrial age system that still remain in a new dynamic informational age.
The article, The Value of Standardized Testing, A Perspective from Cognitive Psychology by Aaron S. Benjamin and Hal Pasher, refutes the claims made by Sir Ken Robinson. They believe standardization in the form of a consistent and common test is more useful for educational reform movements than people are often aware of.
In the article, Creativity in School Design and Technology in England, a discussion of influences, it discusses that creativity in terms of the task uses imagination, pursues purposes, increases originality, and the value of a person. It also said that designers produce novel things, tolerate uncertainty, work with incomplete imaginations, and apply their imaginations. Students now have these skills and can be considered designers in many different ways. Students do not have to just show these skills in one subject area either. They can work together in many ways to play off the strengths of different students and to improve everyone's learning.